Right, what the hell is going on? I was away on holiday for 10 days, and it feels like all sorts has happened. We've got Francis Ngannou just got knocked out. There's all sorts happening with Ryan Garcia, and now Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson has just officially been announced. So when I seen the poster promoting this fight, the first thing that I thought was, oh, here we go, someone's just put together a fake poster. This isn't really going to happen. It's kind of like in the UFC where people will make these fake promotional posters of a dream fight that everyone wants within the UFC. The difference is usually within the UFC, everyone wants those fights. No one wants to see this. Although I say no one wants to see it, everyone's going to watch it. And it's streaming on Netflix. It's not even a pay-per-view. Now, just when I thought that Jake Paul was making strides in the right direction to become a world champion, he wants to work his way through the boxing ranks. Okay, fair enough. I'll show him a little bit of respect. He goes and does this. This is a massive backwards step. And who am I to comment? People would just be like, Shaun, you're jealous. Would I like Jake Paul's money? Yeah, certainly. Would I like the same level of clout that Jake Paul's got? Certainly. That just means more money. But to fight a legend like Mike Tyson, this just isn't good. Let's put it this way. Mike Tyson is 57 years old. He'll actually be 58 years old by the time this fight takes place. Jake Paul is 27 years old. So that's a 30-year age gap. So this is what Jake has posted. Promotion, promotion, promotion. If I'm being honest, I don't need that. The biggest fight of the 21st century? Well, not really. In the biggest NFL stadium in the US, broadcasted live on the biggest streaming platform in the world. That's the MVP way. Come on, Jake. Whether you're tuning in on Netflix or showing out in person, whether you're Team Paul or Team Tyson, or whether you're a lifelong boxing fan, or whether your first fight, you're not going to want to miss this event. I could not be more excited to make this amazing fight available to all Netflix subscribers along the hardest hitter of all time, Mike Tyson, on Saturday, July the 20th. My sights are set on becoming a world champion, and now I have the chance to prove myself against the greatest heavyweight champion of the world, the baddest man on the planet, and the most dangerous boxer of all time. Time to put Iron Mike to sleep. Mike Tyson commented, we'll see. Someone said, Jake Paul next fight, Joe Biden. Someone said, bro, he's 60. And a few people are already saying that this fight is scripted, it's fixed. So you see here, another scripted fight, fixed fight, we all know it. It's scripted. If Mike loses to Jake, he was paid. End of story. Now we'll get into these scripted allegations in a moment. First off, let me show you what Jake posted on his YouTube channel.
In all seriousness, fighting Mike Tyson is such an honor to step in the ring with one of the two most famous people to ever grace the sport of boxing. Not only will this be the biggest fight of my life, but I think this has the opportunity to change the history of boxing, to be one of the biggest fights of the 21st century, and to step in there with a legend means the world to me. It's the biggest moment of my career and a big challenge. Everyone I've told so far has said, don't get in the ring with Mike. He's too hard of a puncher. I mean, just look at this footage. That man is a beast, but I'm not taking him lightly, and July 20th, I hope to become the victor and to create history and knock out the legendary Iron Mike Tyson.
Before I play the rest, I'll promise you one thing now, and remember, you heard it here first. There will be no knockouts in this fight. I guarantee there will be some sort of no knockout clause.
Jake Paul, he keeps saying he wants to fight you. Do you want to fight him?
That could be very interesting.
It could be interesting.
Mike Tyson says, let's do this. Are you down?
100%.
Tyson versus Jake Paul would be the best fight fucking ever.
How would you feel if you stepped into the ring with Iron Mike?
I would beat him.
Could you fuck him up?
So fucking easy.
You versus Jake Paul, like this young YouTuber takes on one of the greatest heavyweight champions that's ever lived.
I'm the best ever.
That fight would be gigantic.
Let's do it, Jakey.
Jake Paul, he's taking on the baddest motherfucker that ever lived.
If Jake Paul's on the other side of the ring, he's gonna have a recognition. He's gonna look over and go, oh my God, that's really Mike Tyson.
I have one punch power. He has one punch power. Who wins?
I mean, it's a decent promo, but it's all a facade. This fight is going to be incredibly boring. Let's just remind ourselves, Mike Tyson is almost 60 years old, 30 years older than Jake. It doesn't look how ferocious he's looking on those pads, yet Mike Tyson used to be a vicious KO artist with crazy power, but he's old and massively past his prime. His body is broken. It wasn't long ago that Mike Tyson was spotted using a wheelchair because he suffers from sciatica, and trust me, sciatica is horrible. I suffered with it from, I think it was like 2013 to 2016. I only just got over it a few years ago. I couldn't squat, I couldn't deadlift, I couldn't do any legs. I couldn't even bend over to pick up weights for my clients. And when you've got sciatica, it's hard to get rid of it completely. You will still find from time to time your back will tighten up, and especially when you're older, like Mike Tyson. So Mike Tyson's not going to have the same level of movement, the same mobility, the same power and torque generation in his punches, especially his hooks. I mean, look how he looked against Roy Jones Jr. That was pretty much just a glorified sparring match. We're now a few years removed from that. Is Tyson going to be in better shape now than he was against Roy Jones? I don't think so. So I just think this fight is going to be a repeat of that, but even worse. Now, a few people are looking at footage like this, saying Mike Tyson is ferocious, and if this Mike Tyson turns up, then he's going to absolutely smoke Jake Paul. Yeah, so we're not going to see any of that. Mike looks great there, but he won't look like that in the fight. I promise you now. And the fighting gods, please make me wrong. I would love to see Mike Tyson go out there and absolutely spark Jake, but it's not going to happen. It's an exhibition fight. It's going to be a glorified sparring match. Jake won't be going full force. Mike Tyson won't be going full force. Don't listen to anything that they say in the build-up to this fight. They're not going to knock out each other. They're not even going to try and go for the knockout. Ignore it all. Now, also to address some of these comments about it being a fixed fight or Mike Tyson is going to take a dive, let's face it, that's not true whatsoever. We're talking about Mike Tyson here. He is a man of incredible honor. You think the Mike Tyson is going to take a few million to take a dive and tarnish his legacy after all he's done? Mike Tyson's not struggling for money anymore. He's doing pretty well for himself. So Mike Tyson is not taking a dive in this fight. Now, if Mike Tyson gets dropped, I actually do believe it's going to be completely 100% legit, and it's just going to be a case of the new young buck defeating an old, retired, past his prime legend. But Mike's not going to let that happen. So I'm telling you right now, there will be some sort of clause in the contract saying that they can't knock each other out. Even McGregor had something to say about this fight.
Help me.
Your thoughts on this Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight?
Oh, jeez, I don't. It's a bit strange. You know, is my interest? The interest is low, and I don't know. I don't really. I don't understand it.
Got it. Any difference between this one and...
I wish well for Mike.
We're going to go. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You know, that interviewer was about to say, is there any difference between this fight and you fighting Floyd Mayweather? And that's what a lot of people have said in the comments on this post. It's like him fighting Floyd. It's almost like him fighting Mayweather. And I mean, almost exactly like that. That's not true at all. Conor McGregor was a 2-time world champion in the UFC. Floyd Mayweather, also a multi-time world champion in different weight classes. McGregor and Mayweather were two fighters who were at the top of the game in their own sports, agreeing to fight. And Mayweather, although he was old, was still really, really good. And he was still fairly active. Okay, he'd been retired for a little bit, but not as long as Mike Tyson. And Floyd Mayweather is also really well known for having a clean lifestyle. He still runs and trains a lot. He doesn't drink. I don't think he smokes. So he's always in shape, and therefore he's always got a young body. He's still fast. He's an athlete. Mike Tyson has lived a very fast life. He smokes a lot of weed. He can barely speak. He's got that Nate Diaz mumbling tonality. And no disrespect to Mike, I love Mike, but I'm just saying, these stupid comments, you can't compare Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather to Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Andrew Tate gave his opinion of this fight as well, and I really like his response. Check it out.
Would you fight Mike Tyson? No. Fighting Mike Tyson is such an honor, and to step in there with a legend means the world to me. It's the biggest moment of my career.
Because he's now old. That doesn't feel fair. He would have beaten me, so to beat him when he's past his prime just feels dishonorable, and I'd feel dirty for doing that. So there's no amount of money on the planet that could convince me to fight Mike Tyson.
That was perfectly put. He said, I wouldn't fight him because he's now old and he would have beaten me. So to fight him or to beat him when he's past his prime just feels dishonorable, and I'd feel dirty for doing that. Very well put. The top comment was the parallel between a man of honor and a boy filled with dreams. So I personally am not a big fan of this fight. Am I going to tune into it? Of course. At the end of the day, everyone likes a little bit of spectacle, and I understand that I play into that, but I'm human. What can I say? I like talking about fights. I like watching fights. I cover and talk about these influencers and fighters who are within the internet world on my YouTube channel, so of course I'm going to watch it. But if you're Jake Paul and you win this fight, can you really celebrate? And Mike Tyson, if you lose this fight, it really does tarnish your legacy. It doesn't change what you've done back in the day, but it's just not really a good look if you lose. And that's why I don't think there's going to be a winner or loser of this fight. There's going to be no knockouts. I believe it's going to be a very boring fight. I think the next day, all of us on YouTube are going to be talking about how this was a letdown, it was boring, it was a snooze fest. We're not going to see any violence or power from Mike Tyson. We're going to see Jake use his jab a lot and keep Mike Tyson at bay and not really throw any power into his shots. We'll probably see a lot of clinching. There'll be a lot of promo going into this fight, and everyone will be excited to see Mike Tyson return to form and finally be the one to knock Jake Paul out and teach these pesky kids a lesson. But we're not going to see that. It's going to be boring. Mark my words. I would like to be wrong. Please, Mike Tyson, prove me wrong. But I think Mike knows what he's doing. He's going in there for the payday, but he's not going to risk his legacy for that payday. What do you guys think? Comment down below. Make sure you like this video. I was going to cover the UFC today, but I haven't even watched it. Birthday parties and Mother's Day stuff. So maybe I can do a video this week on the UFC. I'm going to go and watch it right now after I've edited this video. Okay, I appreciate you all. See you tomorrow.